Next, work the 10th round. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Count it as 1 double crochet, then pick up the stitch of the back post single crochet below. Crochet 2 double crochets. Plus the turning chain. That makes 3 stitches in total. Move on to crochet a picket. Here, when making the slip stitch, pick up the stitch of this double crochet, work with the thread in front and the thread on the left side. After completing, in the same position, crochet 3 double crochets. Skip the adjacent chain space. Pick up the stitch of the treble crochet, crochet 3 double crochets. Then work 2 double crochets in the next double crochet position. Next, at the back post double crochet position, work 5 back post double crochets evenly. On the back, work a BPDC2 tog. Here, pick up and decrease for 1 round. Hook the stitch on either side. Skip the decrease position without hooking. After completing, continue to work evenly. Crochet 5 back post double crochets. In the back double crochet position, crochet 2 double crochets. Pick up the stitch and insert the hook. In the treble crochet position, crochet 3 double crochets. Skip the chain space without hooking. Below is the back post single crochet position. Correspondingly crochet 3 double crochets. Make a picket. When slipping, pick up the stitch in front of the current stitch, and hook the stitch on the left side. Continue with 3 double crochets. In the treble crochet position, correspondingly work 3 double crochets. In the double crochet position, work 2 double crochets. The pattern for this round is: at the back post single crochet position, correspondingly work 3 double crochets, a picket, and 3 double crochets. In the treble crochet position, correspondingly work 3 double crochets. In the double crochet position, crochet 2 double crochets. At the BPDC 2 tog position, pick up the stitches on either side and crochet a back post decrease. On both sides, crochet 5 back post double crochets evenly. Repeat this process. Complete the remaining part. Finish with the last 3 double crochets. Slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain. Tighten. Fasten off the yarn. This completes the 10th round. Move on to the 11th round. Pick up the working yarn. Find the center of any picket and join the yarn. Chain 1 to start. In the same position, make 1 single crochet. Pick up next double crochet. Work back post double crochets evenly. Continue until you reach the stitch before the decrease from the previous round. Leave this stitch unworked. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up the stitch before and after the decrease. Make a decreasing back post double crochet. After completing, continue, crochet back post double crochets evenly. When you encounter a picket position, pick up the center hole and make 1 single crochet. The pattern for this round is: at picket positions, crochet single crochets. At decrease positions, pick up the stitches on either side. Make a decreasing back post double crochet. For other positions, crochet back post double crochets evenly. Repeat this process. Finish the remaining part. Complete the last back post double crochet. Slip stitch down into the single crochets. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes the 11th round. Continue to crochet the 12th round. Find the single crochet from the previous round. On the left side, locate the 4th back post double crochet. Pick up the stitch. Join the yarn. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Chain 1 for the interval. Skip the next stitch. Work 1 half double crochet in position. Chain 1 for the interval. Continue to skip the next stitch. Work 1 double crochet. Chain 1 for the interval. Skip the next stitch. Work 1 treble crochet. Chain 1 for the interval. Skip the next stitch below. Then work a TR2 tog. First, pick the corresponding position. Work an incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 2 more times. Now you should have 2 loops left on the hook. This is the incomplete treble crochet. Skip the next adjacent stitch. Pick the corresponding position and work an incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 2 more times. Complete the second incomplete treble crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through once. This completes the TR2 tog. Continue with symmetrical stitches as before. That is, skip 1 stitch. Work a treble crochet. Then work a double crochet. Half double crochets and single crochets are separated by 1 chain stitch. After completing, I will treat the 2 single crochets and the space between them as one side of this round. Then work 7 chain stitches for the interval. This marks a corner. Skip the next 7 stitches. Then work another side. Skip 1 stitch. Work a single crochet. Skip 1 stitch. Work another single crochet. Half double crochets, and treble crochets are separated by 1 chain stitch. After completing, work a TR2 tog. First, skip 1 stitch. Work 2 incomplete treble crochets. 1, 2. Finally, yarn over and draw through once. Complete the TR2 tog. Then work the symmetrical stitch pattern. I won't go into detail about this. Finish the single crochets. This completes one edge. Next, work a corner. That's 7 chain stitches. Continue working the edges and corners. The stitch patterns have been demonstrated earlier. I won't go into detail about this. Pay attention to the space between the edge and the corner. Skip 7 stitches and don't work them. Follow the method from earlier. Continue working down. Finish the last edge. Continue with the corner. Then pick up the first single crochet stitch and slip stitch. You can tighten or not, as you prefer. Finally, cut the yarn. Hide the beginning and ending yarn tails inside the fabric. This completes round 12. Next, work round 13. Find any single crochet position from round 11. Place the chain stitches from the previous round behind. Then join the yarn in the single crochet. Start with 1 single crochet. Follow with 1 chain stitch interval. Continue by picking up the second stitch on the left side of round 11. Work 1 half double crochet. 1 chain stitch interval. Pick up the edge position from the previous round. Pick up the single crochet and work a front post double crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook once. Insert the hook from right to left. Pick up the single crochet. Then work the half double crochet as usual. This completes the front post double crochet. Move to the next chain stitch interval. Then pick up the adjacent half double crochet position. Work a front post double crochet. The method is similar to the back post double crochet. The only difference is that you insert the hook from the front. Pick up the corresponding stitch from right to left. Then work the double crochet as usual. This completes the front post double crochet. Continue with 1 chain stitch interval. Then pick up the adjacent double crochet, work a front post double crochet, one chain stitch interval. Then pick up the position for the treble crochet, work a front post treble crochet, wrap the yarn twice, pick up the corresponding stitch from right to left. Then work the treble crochet as usual. This completes the front post treble crochet. Follow with 1 chain stitch interval. When you reach the decrease position, correspondingly work a front post treble crochet. One chain stitch interval. At the treble crochet position, work a front post treble crochet. One chain stitch interval. Next, at the positions for double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet, correspondingly work 2 front post double crochets, and 1 front post half double crochet, 1 chain interval between each stitch. After completing, continue with 1 chain. Then at the 11th round, slip 1 stitch from the previous edge. Work 1 half double crochet at the corresponding position. Note that the chain stitch should be placed behind. Then crochet 1 chain stitch. Next, work a single crochet at the 11th round single crochet position. I treat the stitches between these 2 single crochets as one edge. The single crochet position as a corner. Continue working the edge downwards. The method is the same as before. It's quite simple, so I won't go into detail. After completing, crochet a corner, which is 1 single crochet. Then, following the previous method, continue working the edges and corners. Finish the remaining part. Complete the last edge. Move down and join with a slip stitch at the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. This completes the 13th round. Move on to the 14th round. At the point where you cut the yarn in the previous round, join the yarn on the single crochet. Then, work a turning chain and a single crochet. Continue downward, picking up the chain spaces and working single crochets. Pay attention to weaving in all the yarn tails. Pick up the stitch in the half double crochet position and work a single crochet. Continue picking up stitches and chain positions as you move along. Work single crochets into each stitch, corresponding one by one. Complete this round. Finish the last stitch. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. No need to cut the yarn. This completes the 14th round. Move on to the 15th round. Continue from the previous working yarn. Start with a turning chain and a single crochet. Then skip 2 stitches to the left. Work 2 double crochets at next stitch. Two chain stitches. Work 2 more double crochets in the same position. I consider the stitches worked in one position as a shell stitch. Continue downward. Skip 2 stitches. Work a single crochet. Then skip 2 stitches. Work a shell stitch. That is 2 double crochets. Two chain stitches. 2 double crochets. After completing it, skip 2 stitches and work a single crochet. Continue by skipping 2 stitches each time, alternating between shell stitches and single crochets. Finish the remaining part. Complete the last shell stitch. Skip 2 stitches. Reach the starting single crochet position. Pick up the stitch and join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. No need to fasten off the yarn. This completes round 15. Continue to crochet round 16. Start with 4 chain stitches. These count as the beginning chain for the treble crochet. This also counts as 1 treble crochet. Then crochet 3 chain stitches as a bridge. Next to it is a shell stitch. Pick up the chain space, crochet 1 double crochet, 3 chain stitches as a bridge. Then pick up the single crochet position, crochet a treble crochet, 3 chains as a bridge. At the shell stitch position, pick up the chain space and crochet a double crochet, 3 chain stitches as a bridge. Then pick up the chain spaces of the shell stitches. Correspondingly work double crochets at the single crochet positions. Correspondingly crochet treble crochets between the stitches, 3 chain stitches as a bridge. Repeat this process. Finish crocheting the remaining part. Finish the last double crochet, followed by 3 chain stitches. Then pick up the 4th chain of the beginning chain and slip stitch. Pull tight. Don't cut the yarn. This completes round 16. Next, crochet round 17. Continue with the previous yarn. Start with a chain and single crochet. Then pick up the adjacent chain space. Crochet 2 single crochets. At the next double crochet position, work single crochet. At chain space, work 2 single crochets correspondingly. Treble crochet position, work a single crochet. Then at the double crochet and treble crochet positions, work single crochets correspondingly. At chain space, correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Repeat this process to finish the remaining part. Finish the last chains. Join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. Since the starting point for the next row has changed, break the yarn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes round 17. And that concludes section 1. Move on to crochet section 2. There are 4 parts in total. Each section requires 4 rows. And you will be working back and forth. The new stitch technique used is the TR3 bobble stitch. Watch me demonstrate. First, we'll crochet the first part of section 2. Start with row 1. Find any TR2 tog from above, corresponding to the treble crochet position. Then find the corresponding single crochet above. At the 4th single crochet position to the right, join the yarn. In practice, use the same color as the last few rounds of section 1. For my sample, to make it clearer, I'm using a different color for the demonstration. Then, start with a single crochet. Followed by a chain stitch interval. Skip the next 3 single crochets. On the following stitch, crochet a treble crochet. One chain stitch. Continue with 1 treble crochet, 1 chain stitch, and repeat this sequence 5 times. Then, crochet 1 more treble crochet. In total, you will have 7 treble crochets here. Pay attention to avoid extra or missing stitches. Then, crochet 1 chain stitch interval. Skip 3 stitches below. Pick up the next stitch and crochet a single crochet. 2 chain stitches interval. Skip 2 stitches. Correspondingly crochet 1 single crochet. This completes the first row. Move on to the second row. Start with 2 chain stitches. Turn over. Then skip the adjacent chain space. Pick the next one, which is a chain stitch space, and crochet 1 double crochet. 2 chain stitches. Pick up the chain spaces below and correspondingly crochet double crochets with 2 chains as intervals. Finish the last double crochet in the chain space. Crochet 2 chain stitches downward. Then from the position of the single crochet in the previous row, skip 2 stitches to the left. Pick the next stitch and crochet 1 single crochet, pick the next stitch and crochet 1 single crochet, 2 chains interval. Skip 1 stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet, 2 chains interval. Skip 2 stitches again. Crochet 1 single crochet. This completes the second row. Move on to the third row. Start with 2 chain stitches. Turn. Then pick the left side. At the second chain space, crochet a bobble stitch with 3 double crochets. First, crochet 3 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over. Draw through all the loops on the hook once. Complete the DC3 bobble. The next 2 chain stitches interval. Pick the adjacent hole. Crochet a DC3 bobble. First, crochet 3 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over, draw through all the loops on the hook once. Complete the DC3 bobble. Continue with 2 chain stitches interval. Then pick the chain spaces. Work a DC3 bobble, followed by 2 chain stitches. Repeat this sequence 4 times. Then work another bobble in the same position. Follow with 2 chains interval. Here, you will have 2 bobbles in one space, and it should correspond to the center stitch above in the first row. Continue downwards. Pick up the chain space. Work a DC3 bobble, followed by 2 chains. Repeat this sequence. Finish crocheting the chain space. Continue picking up the edge single crochets from the previous row at the second stitch position next to it, which means skipping 1 stitch. Work a DC3 bobble here. Follow with 2 chain stitches interval. Then skip 2 stitches to the left. Make 1 single crochet. Follow with 2 chain stitches interval. Continue skipping 2 stitches. Make 1 single crochet. This completes the third row. Continue with the fourth row. Start with 2 chain stitches. Turn. Then pick up the second chain space on the left side. Crochet a double crochet. Follow by picking up chain spaces and crocheting double crochets. Each double crochet is separated by 2 chain stitches. Continue until you reach the center. Before the positions of the 2 puff stitches. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up the hole below. Crochet 3 double crochets. Two chain stitches. And crochet 3 more double crochets in the same hole. Continue, picking up holes, and crocheting double crochets, each double crochet separated by 2 chain stitches. Keep going until you reach the edge bobble position. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up the gap between the puff stitch and the previous single crochet and insert the hook. Crochet a double crochet, followed by 2 chains for the interval. Then skip 2 stitches to the left from the previous single crochet, and crochet 1 single crochet. Then fasten off the yarn. Hide the starting yarn tail inside the fabric. The ending yarn tail can be hidden in the subsequent crocheting. This completes row 4. At the same time, the first section 2 is completed. Continue crocheting the remaining 3 sections too. The method is the same. First, refer to the chart. Find the insertion position for the starting single crochet in the corresponding area. Here, you can count the single crochet stitches, or find the previous section with 1 TR2 tog interval, and start above the next TR2 tog. On the left side, find the corresponding position, and start crocheting. Pay attention that the first row is worked on the right side of the previous motif. The method is simple, so I will not repeat the demonstration. Everyone can complete the remaining sections too on their own. That concludes the explanation for section 2. Finally, crochet section 3, which is just 1 round, and connect it to sections 2 and 1. Pick up the corresponding yarn. Then find any one of the centers in section 2, specifically, the centered chain space, which is the middle of 3 double crochets. Pick up the stitch and join the yarn. Then start with 1 single crochet, in the next double crochet position. Pick up the stitches and work single crochets correspondingly. The back side of the double crochet stitch is located at the upper left. Chain space. Work 2 single crochets into 1 chain space. Then pick up the stitches and chain spaces, and work single crochets correspondingly. Finish crocheting this part of section 2. Note that you work 2 single crochets into each chain space. After completing, skip the single crochets in section 2. Move down to section 1. Pick up the adjacent single crochet position and work a half double crochet. Continue picking up the stitches. Work half double crochets correspondingly. After completing, move down to the next section 2. Pick up the chain spaces and stitches and work single crochets correspondingly. Keep crocheting until you reach the centered chain space with 3 double crochets. Similarly, skip the single crochets in section 2. Reach the centered chain space. Work 1 single crochet correspondingly. Work 2 chain stitches. Work another single crochet in the same chain space. Here, I will treat the left and right single crochets, along with the centered 2 chain stitches, as one corner. Move down to the section 2 position. Pick up the stitches and chain spaces, and work single crochets correspondingly. In the section 1 position, work half double crochets correspondingly. Note that all the single crochets in section 2 are skipped. Repeat this process until you reach the next section 2, just before the chain stitch between the 3 double crochets. When you reach the corresponding position, crochet a corner, which is 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and 1 single crochet. The corner is done. The area between 2 corners is 1 side. Continue working using the method for sides and corners, and crochet the remaining part. Finish the last side, and complete the starting corner, and work 1 single crochet at the chain space, 2 chains, and then join with a slip stitch in the 5th single crochet. Pull tight, and finally fasten off. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes section 3. At the same time, the demonstration of the large motifs is also finished. Moving forward, follow the same method to crochet the required number of large motifs. I will not repeat the demonstration. Up to this point, the motif section is completed. Next, we will connect the motifs. First, connect the small motifs. Then, connect the large motifs at the corresponding positions. For the specific arrangement of the motifs, you can refer to the finished product and the layout diagram. You can also adjust according to your preference. Use the whip stitch method to sew them together. Now, I will demonstrate the connection method using a small sample. Here, I will only demonstrate the technique. In practice, you can start from any direction in the layout diagram. Pick up the 2 corresponding motifs, then, pick up the corresponding color of yarn. Take a piece of yarn that is 2-3 times the length of this edge. You can leave it a bit longer. Thread the yarn through the sewing needle. Place the 2 motifs with their wrong sides facing each other. The area to be connected is from the chain stitch next to the double crochet, all the way to the chain stitch next to the double crochet on the other side. First, insert the needle into the chain stitch on the right side of the front motif. Pick the outer half loop of the chain. Insert the needle with one strand of yarn. On the other side, pick the corresponding chain. Insert the needle into the highest half loop. Sew them together. Start by leaving a little yarn tail. To make it secure, sew through the same hole once more. After completing this, move to the left. Pick the adjacent double crochet stitch. The back half loop is where you insert the needle with one strand of yarn. Insert the needle. On the back fabric piece, pick the corresponding double crochet stitch. At the highest position, pick the half loop. Insert the needle. Sew them together. Here, you can place the previously reserved yarn between the two fabric pieces above the sewing needle. Sew while hiding the yarn inside. Continue downwards. Pick the back half loop of the front motif stitch. Match it with the back motif's highest position half loop. Sew them together correspondingly. When you encounter a chain stitch, pick the back half loop and the highest position half loop of the chain. Insert the needle and sew them together. Repeat this process after sewing this edge. Reach the chain stitch position next to the double crochet, pick the corresponding position and sew twice. Finally, tie a knot at the back to secure it. Weave the remaining yarn tail into the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches. Trim the remaining yarn tail. This way, the two small motifs are connected. Continue downwards. Pick up the corresponding small motif from above. Align it with the wrong side of the corresponding motif. Then take the yarn. From the chain stitch next to the double crochet, sew to the chain stitch next to the double crochet on the other side. The sewing method is the same as before. It's quite simple, so I won't go into detail. Here, I'll demonstrate it again. After completing it, secure the yarn in place on the wrong side. Weave the remaining yarn tail into the fabric. This connects another small flower motif. Continue in the same way for the rest. Refer to the finished product and connect the corresponding motifs in a row or column. There is no specific order for connecting them. After connecting, the small flower motifs will form a grid-like pattern. The empty spaces are where the large motifs will go. Continue to complete the sewing of the small flower motifs on your own. When you encounter knots during sewing, pick up the single crochet stitch. Sew the braid next to the knot to the corresponding half stitch. Once done, connect the large motifs. First, refer to the diagram or place the large motifs according to your preference. Make sure the right side of the motifs is facing up. Some motifs need to connect 2 sides, some connect 3 sides, and the centered motif connects 4 sides. The joining method is the same for all. Here, I'll demonstrate connecting 2 sides as an example. I'll show you the method. Here, I'm demonstrating with a small swatch. With fewer motifs, I will only demonstrate the method, and the positions and color schemes are not for reference. First, place the motifs in their corresponding positions. Then take a short piece of waste yarn. Connect the 2 edges and corners that need to be joined. Secure it with the yarn for convenience. This makes sewing easier. For the corners, just secure them at roughly corresponding points. If you want to sew evenly, you can find a few points along the edge that needs to be sewn, and secure them as well. I won't demonstrate this here. Once done, take the area to be connected. Start with one side, using 2-3 times the length of the yarn. Insert and sew. Then, align the back sides of the large motif and the small motif, and sew them together. Start from one corner. First, remove the securing yarn from the corner. Here, the sewing area for one side of the large motif is from the chain stitch next to the single crochet to the chain stitch next to the single crochet on the other side. For the small motif, it's also from the edge next to the vertical double crochets chain stitch. Sew to the corner. First, sew the starting position. The sewing method is the same as for the small motif. Pick the back loop and the highest half loop of the stitches, and sew them together correspondingly. When you reach the joining point before the small motif, if you want smaller gaps, pick the same position on the large motif. That corresponds to the previous joining point, and sew once. Sew the adjacent position once as well. If you encounter a situation where the stitch counts on both sides are not corresponding, you can also adjust the stitch count using this method. That means picking up and sewing an extra stitch on one side. After completing this, continue sewing. Here, the joining point and the adjacent position correspond to the same position on the large motif. Sew the other positions correspondingly. Sew to the corner position. Pick up and sew the approximate corresponding position on the motif. After completing this, thread the yarn to the back. The previous yarn was a bit loose. So reattach the yarn and continue sewing. Tie a knot with the yarn tail close to the fabric. Hide the remaining yarn tail inside the fabric. I won't demonstrate this part. If the yarn tail is too long, you can trim it. After completing this, continue sewing the next side of the large motif. The method is the same as before. I won't go into detail. After sewing this corner, two sides of the large motif will be sewn together. Finally, hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. I won't demonstrate this part here. That's it for connecting this large motif. The same method applies to other large motifs. Before sewing, secure the corners and edges first. This makes it easier to sew. Center the large motif. Secure the four corners. From here, you can complete the remaining motifs on your own. I won't demonstrate this part. That's it for connecting the motifs. Finally, we'll add the edging to the blanket. There are 4 rounds in total, all in one color. In addition to the previous stitch techniques, we also use the double crochet decrease DC2 tog stitch. Watch me demonstrate. Here, I'll continue using a small sample for the demonstration. First, we'll work the first round. In the short stitch areas of the large motifs, we need to decrease. Find any one of the large motifs, the chain space on the edge. Pick up the large hole and join the yarn. Then, make 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet into the same hole. Then, pick up the next stitch. Work 6 double crochets into each corresponding stitch. After completing, work a double crochet decrease. Pick up the next 2 adjacent stitches. Work an incomplete double crochet. 1, 2. Then, yarn over, and draw through once. Complete the double crochet decrease. Continue from here. Work 6 double crochets into each corresponding stitch. Then, work a double crochet decrease. First, work 2 incomplete double crochets. Then, yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook. Complete the double crochet decrease. Continue to crochet 6 double crochets. Then, work another DC2 tog. Move on to the area with large motifs and the half double crochets. Pick up the stitches. Work double crochets into each corresponding stitch. Next is the short needle area of the large motif. Work a DC2 tog, followed by 6 double crochets evenly. Repeat this pattern 3 times. Continue to work double crochets one by one. You will reach the chain space on this side, which is also the joining point for the motif. Pick up the chain space and work 1 double crochet. Now you have completed the large motif area. Next is the position for the small motif. First, pick up the adjacent chain space and work 1 double crochet. Then, pick up the stitch and work a double crochet into each corresponding stitch. For the chain space of 2 chains, work 2 double crochets. Skip the single crochet position. Work 2 double crochets at next chain space. Continue to work double crochets into each corresponding stitch. At the joining point, use the chain space. Work 1 double crochet. This completes the small flower motif area. For subsequent small flower motif areas, follow this method. Connect the holes by working 1 double crochet into each corresponding hole. Work double crochets into each corresponding double crochet position. Work 2 double crochets into the chain space of 2 chains. Skip the single crochet position. For the large motif area, work 1 double crochet into the connecting hole. For the right single crochet area, work 6 double crochets. Then 1 double crochet decrease and repeat this sequence. For the left single crochet area, work 1 DC2 tog. Then 6 double crochets, and repeat this sequence. For the centered half double crochet area, work double crochets into each corresponding stitch. Follow this method. Continue working down. Work the large motif edge with chain spaces. Pick up the large hole and work 2 double crochets. Work 2 chains. Work 2 more double crochets in the same hole. Here, I treat the chain space as a corner for this round. When you encounter the large motif edge with chain spaces later, follow the method used here. For other positions, refer to the previous method for crocheting. The method is quite simple. I won't go into detail about it later. Continue working down. Work until you reach the starting position. Pick up the chain space and work 2 double crochets. Work 1 chain. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain and work a single crochet to join. Here, the single crochet replaces 1 chain and a slip stitch. It also completes the starting corner. That completes the explanation for the first round. Now, move on to the second round. Here, I'll demonstrate the method using this small sample. Continue with the previous yarn tail. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Then go to the left. Skip 2 stitches. Pick the corresponding position and work 1 double crochet. 3 chain stitches. Work another double crochet in the same space. Here, I have 1 double crochet on each side, centered around 3 chain stitches. This forms pattern 1. Continue downwards. Skip 2 stitches. Work pattern 1, which is 1 double crochet, 3 chain stitches, and 1 double crochet. Then skip 2 stitches respectively. Crochet pattern 1 all the way to just before the chain space on this side. Finish pattern 1. Skip 2 stitches below. When you reach the chain space, work pattern 1 correspondingly. The chain space here marks the corner of this round. Between the corners is 1 side. At the position of the side, continue to skip 2 stitches. Pick up the stitch and crochet pattern 1. At the corner position, pick up the chain space and crochet pattern 1. Repeat this process to finish the remaining part. After completing the last pattern 1, skip 2 stitches, and you will be back at the starting position. Pick up the chain space, and crochet 1 double crochet. One chain stitch. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain, and crochet 1/2 double crochet. This also replaces 2 chain stitches and a slip stitch. That completes the explanation for round 2. Continue to crochet round 3. Using the previous yarn tail, start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain, which counts as 1 double crochet. Then pick up the chain space below, and crochet 3 double crochets. After completing, pick up the chain space of group 1 on the left side, and crochet 1 single crochet. In the adjacent group 1, crochet 7 double crochets. Here, I treat these 7 double crochets as group 2. Continue. Pick up the chain space of the adjacent group 1, and crochet 1 single crochet. In the next chain space of group 1, crochet group 2, which is 7 double crochets. For the rest of this round, pick up the chain spaces of group 1, and alternate crocheting single crochets and group 2, and follow the pattern. At the corner positions of group 1, crochet group 2 exactly. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting downward. Until you finish the last position of group 1. Continue down to the starting position. Complete this group 2, which means crocheting 3 double crochets. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain and slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes the explanation for round 3. Continue down to round 4. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Then crochet 2 chain stitches as an interval, and crochet 1 double crochet in the same position. Pick up the top of the beginning chain and crochet. Then crochet 3 chain stitches as a transition. Then pick the adjacent single crochet position, and crochet a single crochet. 3 chain stitches as a transition. At the center of group 2, pick the centered stitch of this double crochet, and crochet 1 double crochet. 2 chain stitches, and crochet 1 more double crochet in the same position. Here, I treat the left and right double crochets with 2 centered chain stitches as motif 3, followed by 3 chain stitches as a transition. Then pick the single crochet position and correspondingly crochet a single crochet. 3 chain stitches as a transition. Pick the center of motif 2 and crochet motif 3, which is 1 double crochet, 2 chain stitches, and 1 double crochet. Complete motif 3, followed by 3 chain stitches as a transition. Then hook the single crochet in the corresponding position. And crochet motif 3 in the position of motif 2. Between the single crochet and motif 3, crochet 3 chain stitches as a transition. Repeat this process, and finish crocheting the remaining part. Finish the last single crochet, followed by 3 chain stitches. Then pick up the top of the beginning chain. And crochet a slip stitch. No need to tighten it. And finally, fasten off the yarn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. That completes the explanation for the 4th round. And also the explanation for the edging part. If the blanket is not quite flat after completion, you can iron the wrong side with an iron. Up to this point, the entire blanket making process has been fully explained. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.